This is our daily Scrum dashboard. And on this daily Scrum dashboard, we see a handful of things. First item here is our focus for the iteration. This is the iteration we're working on. In this case, we're focusing on quality. Now, sometimes this may seem a little bit basic as to what people are looking at, but the core purpose of this is to make sure that all of the issues that people are working on, this is the core focus. How often people pull this dashboard up really depends on how we're running the day-to-day scrums, but typically we like to pull that up right away. You can also see who's doing what during these various periods. So in fact, if I'm looking down through this, I was dealing with it, Andrew was dealing with it from February 5th to the 10th, Alex was dealing with it here, Cameron was supposed to be on ops this past week, and then I'm going to be doing it all next week. That's generally how it works. We also see over here how many unassigned items there are that need to be worked on, and these are operational items. So unopened tasks, what do we need to work on, and we can click on that to see it. We can also see the burn down, how things are going. So we've got 87 items remaining. The ideal trend should be down here. Our actual is at 87 hours worth of work. So we can see we still have a little bit of work to do based on our current capacity, which is 36. Right now it's 48 hours. So we don't have a lot of time to get all of this work done. New bugs. Anytime anybody creates a brand new bug, this shows us new bugs that were created in the past 24 hours. This is important because all of a sudden, if new things get created, we want to be on top of them. Coming down a little bit further, here's how many days are remaining, how many work items have not been started. This is sometimes a little bit difficult to look at because when we start working on a task, we don't always update the user story or the bug to saying it's active, but it has been started. So we use this as a bit of a gauge to work with. We need to create a brand new work item. We can do so here. And what we're currently working on. This identifies to us kind of like what you would see in the daily stand-up. If we start off a daily stand-up and somebody says, oh, well, I'm working on something that's not in this list, we know that they haven't identified the task for it. And this needs to take place in order to work on it. We also have down below here recent changes. And this just gives us an idea as to what we've done in the past. If you consider what a typical scrum is, a typical stand-up is, what have you been working on? That's recent changes. What are you doing? This is what we're doing. And what blockers do we have? Well, that's kind of hard to do for that purpose. We have remaining work, where we're spending time on. Are we spending time on internal issues, the portal, different areas of the application that we need to be aware of? Likewise, the status of the iteration. Where are things at? Are they resolved? Yeah, we've resolved 9 items related to Maestro. We're in the middle of doing a bunch of stuff for the portal, and we're still doing a bunch of stuff for internal. We still have a few things that we haven't started yet in various tasks, so we can see this. The other item down here is internal discussion. Whenever we have a problem that needs to be resolved immediately, people should be tagging this with an internal discussion tag. So if I opened up a particular issue and I wanted to tag it, I'd come to tag internal discussion needed, and that would then show up in this list. This is important because if I'm having a blocker, this is a good place where we would see that blocker. Finally, down below, we end up seeing all of the items marked for internal discussion. There are quite a few of them, and this is for longer term issues. So while these internal discussions are for things that are related to the current iteration, these are items that are related to everything that we need to be working on. The iteration area time breakdown, this lets us know how we're doing in overall work. So I can come down here and I can say, okay, well, of my time here, and this is all of the tasks on here, but we can just get a general feel for, okay, Alex was working on a task that was supposed to take 2 hours, it actually took 2.5 hours. Okay, not a big deal. Cameron was working on a task that was supposed to be 4, he got it done in 2.5. That's great. So we can actually get a better gauge as to how much time we're spending on things, if things are taking longer or less, and we can then open them up and take a look at them and see what's going on. Finally, we also have entries down here for the pull requests that we can end up seeing. So this is our Scrum dashboard that we work with on a regular basis. This can be pulled up during the middle of the morning Scrum and the morning stand-up, so we can always see what is going on in the application for this particular iteration.